Hi, it's Tracy from the Cayuga Economic Development Agency and Cayuga County Chamber of Commerce here with today's FAQ. We are luckily having conversations about reopening the economy and are hopefully getting closer to the point when we can start to reopen some businesses. So I wanted to point you to some resources that will be helpful as you start to plan for that. The caveat here is that the information is changing every day and you really need to keep up to date on what's happening, because there's going to be new guidelines and new information coming out as we approach this reopening. So I wanted to point to a few of those resources today. One is that the governor's office has put together a new website or a new page on their website to share information about the reopening. That website is governor.ny.gov/programs/new-york-forward. So the New York Forward page includes the 7 metrics that each region has to meet in order to begin reopening. Central New York, our region, is currently meeting 5 of those 7. So we're on our way to being able to begin that phased approach. No one is going to be able to start opening before the Pause Act that the governor instituted is over, but any region that is meeting those 7 metrics will be able to begin a phased reopening after pause is over. That May 15th date it's a magic date, but it could change, so you definitely need to keep an eye on that as well. From the New York Forward page, it also links to regional guidelines for reopening New York. That is the Learn More button under the area that says Phase Plan to Reopen New York. Take a look at that page, those guidelines. The Business Precautions section has a nice list of concepts for you to be considering as you're building your reopening plan. You should be building a reopening plan, a written one. Have one ready to go by the time your business is allowed to reopen. And you'll want to be thinking about everything related to safety, sanitation, social distancing, different protocols and procedures for your workplace, anything to keep people safe. So the business precautions section of those guidelines are a good starting point of things you might want to be thinking about for that plan. CenterState CEO has also put out a very nice toolkit, including a good checklist of concepts you'll want to be considering for that reopening plan. More information is still expected on those reopening plans, what they should look like, what you should do with them, who you should submit them to, how they're going to be enforced. There's a lot still kind of up in the air regarding those plans. However, we're hoping that that information will be coming soon, maybe next week. So we'll make sure to share that with you as it becomes clearer how these plans are going to be utilized, but you should definitely begin writing one. Another thing to keep an eye on is Cayuga County's COVID information. If you go to cayugacounty.us, you can see the most up-to-date metrics for Cayuga County specifically and the most up-to-date information there about what's happening locally. You can also sign up for an email so you can get notified every day as to where we are in Cayuga County, because ultimately there will also be local standards and local guidelines, so you'll want to stay up to date on those as well. So as I said, this is changing really quickly, and we expect more information to be coming out over the next week or so as we get closer to reopening, but start working on your reopening plans, and we'll keep you informed as more information becomes available. That's all for today. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.